Alright. See if I can't find the shred. Up and running. Game audio is working, and there's party audio, so everything is working as it should be. That's good. Well, folks, we won't have to wait too much longer, hopefully. Got 11 people in the lobby, but hopefully everyone gets in as soon as possible. Hello, bloke. I have received the friend request from who? Very well. Didn't know I didn't have you on EA. There you go, do that, bloke. Probably not a bad idea. That way if something happens I can try and jump in, do something about it. Yeah. Just in case. Correct. Because Codemasters is Codemasters. And that was particularly evident after the Tier 1 Canada race, where 4 people dropped out simultaneously. So, yeah. Best to have as many friends as you possibly can in these lobbies, that way you can hope somebody can invite you back some way, shape or form. Yeah, headaches aren't fun. No, that firsthand. Headaches are not fun. Especially when you get a migraine. They're really not fun. That kind of sickness, eh? That's no good. KJR. Is that who you are, Foxy, eh? On PlayStation. Really? You racing? Yeah, he is. Oh, go away. Voice chat suspended. Go away. Oh, there has to be Foxy. No one else. Wow, I see. His nickname. Fair enough. Ah. Well, thanks for the info, Blake. I appreciate that. Explains a lot then. Well, we should be set for a full grid for tonight too. Judging by the check-in, we should have 20. So hopefully those who are missing can get in as soon as possible. Not quite sure who is missing at the moment. Got 18. Who are missing? We're missing a McLaren and a Alfa Romeo. We'll wait and see, Blake, in terms of who wins this one. I imagine it's going to be fairly tight towards the front. So we're missing T-Mac, he pulled out late. I remember seeing that in the chat. And Alfa Romeo, that's GeForce Nick, he's usually late, so... Oh yes, that got booted out of the lobby. Hopefully he can find a way back in. Not a great start, not good omens. Him being booted out of the lobby already. Oh shoot. Yeah, pretty much. Once Seb gets back in. I know Nick's usually late, he'll join midway through qualifying, and T-Mac said he was out, so... Seb's rejoined. So I think that should be it. 18. More than enough. More than enough. And I think Nick will join in at some point. So almost a full grid. Nice, healthy size for this Qatar Grand Prix. I guess we're still waiting for some kind of reserve to fill in that McLaren seat, I guess. Gonna wait another few minutes. Oh. John? No. Thought I might have saw the list move. It did not. It appears that GeForce Nick is finally getting on his console. So once he joins, probably get underway. We have some characters on the tier 1 Discord. Plenty of characters. Alright, I think that should be everyone now. See 19 on the board. There's Nick. He'll hop him into his Alfa Romeo. Alright, there's a ready up signal given by Captain Liddell. Let's get the show on the road. And boy, do we have a long show ahead of us. 2 races, a qualifying session, a ton of laps to watch. Hopefully there's a lot of fun to be had. Only one real way to find out. Timer disappeared. Oh. Timer come back. Wait. Bags clicked off the tick, so what's going on? Nothing. Alright. That was weird. When the timer hits 0, start up my intro as per normal. Timer disappeared again briefly. That was strange. Definitely had enough ticks. Anyway. Oh, for crying out loud. What's going on? Okay, so yeah, I've noticed, because looks like Seb needs to restart his game. Yeah, so ugh, more time. More time just sitting here. Indeed. Long delays. Oh, we have 19 now. Alright. Can we get going? Please? Pretty please? It looks like we just might be. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to round 8 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and for tonight we'll be competing at Losail International Circuit for the Qatar Grand Prix. One of the newest additions to the world of Formula 1, Losail International Circuit was created in 2004 and has a long storied history in motorcycle Grand Prix racing. It would take until 2021 for Formula 1 to first make an appearance here, after which the circuit would get a lengthy 10-year contract starting from this year in 2023. This year would also mark its first appearance in an F1 game. It would mark the first time we're using it for Pacific Tier 1 competition. The circuit measures up at 5.42 kilometers. Consists of 16 corners and only a single DRS zone that heads down the main straightaway into the primary overtaking spot of turn 1. Outside of the first corner, drivers will find it difficult to try and pass here. It's a proper driver's circuit because to be the best here you have to push right to the extremities, to the limits of the racetrack. An inch out of line though, you will be punished. With that in mind, qualifying should be extremely competitive once again. But before we focus on this qualifying session, there is a bit of news to go through first from the previous race in Montreal. There were a few incident reports, but the majority of them came up as no further action, one of which didn't. It was an incident between Daniel Bates and I believe it was Ryan Bell. The result from that was that Daniel would receive a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point for causing a collision. But even with the time penalty applied, he wouldn't actually move position in the final results, which means those final results from that race remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Crichton who was leading the way on 149 points, followed by Big Al on 133. So 16 points separating the top two. Potsy is P3 on 129, just 4 points behind Big Al. Then we have Sebastian Spicer in 4th on 90 points. Ryan Bell rounds out the top 5 on 75 points. In the Constructors' Championship, it's Mercedes who lead on 188, 18 points ahead of AlphaTauri on 170. McLaren are next on 159, 30 points behind them is Aston Martin on 129, and 1 point behind them is Red Bull Racing, 128 points. Next to their name. So really not much to go through after the events of Montreal. Now focus on this here qualifying session. We've got a few drivers out on all of them at the moment on intermediate tyres. They don't want to use any slick tyre just yet, it seems. We've got more inters. We've got a soft runner in the form of Sneaky. Thank you very much, Sneaky, for hopping on those softs. I think Rockford's moving out on softs. Yes, he is. Yeah, a lot of drivers using them intermediate tyres to just try and save a set of softs for perhaps a sprint, perhaps a main race, or maybe just save an extra set for this qualifying session, because around a track like this it's actually quite easy to invalidate a lap time. It's very, very easy to invalidate around here, so all of these guys will know that very well, but they will equally know they have to push right to the damn limits of the racetrack in order to set any time that's near the top of the board. But for the most part, try and keep our eyes out for those on soft compound tyres. I would take a tour with them. I would prefer to take a tour with them rather than someone on a set of intermediates, just so then you can get a proper grasp with how quick these guys are going around here. Rockford getting ready for a run. Rockford or Sneaky? Sneaky's ahead for the moment, although Rockford closing in. He might try and pass for track position here. He is. Tell you what, we're going to ride on board with the Alpine driver. We're going to give you a tour of this 5.4 kilometre racetrack. Into the final corner, 6th gear. We'll drop it down to 4th. Turn on the battery and send it down the main straightaway. DRS open. We'll barrel down towards turn 1. 8th gear. Crossing the line now to begin the flying lap. Towards the opening corner, braking at the 50 board, dropping it down to 5th gear, down to 4th gear, back on the power, using the full width of the racetrack there as we head around the left-hander of turn 2. Up towards turn 3, flat out round this right-hander, then up towards the 290 rights of turns 4 and 5, down to 5th gear, back on the power, round turn 5. This will complete the first sector as we head into the hairpin at turn 6. Down to 2nd gear, short shifts up to 3rd. Very tidy there from Rockford as we head up towards turn 7. Long sweeping right-hander. And we go around the left of turn 8. Then the right of 9. And into the hairpin left of turn 10. Down to 4th gear. Using plenty of the racetrack. Unfortunately, a bit too much of it. Sneaky's yet to invalidate. We'll complete the rest of the lap with him. Around the left-hander of turn 11. Then into turn 12. Then turn 13 and turn 14. Quite reminiscent to Turkey's turn 8 at Istanbul Park. Out of the penultimate corner at turn 15. Then into turn 16, the final corner on the racetrack. Batemate has just set a lap time on the softs. He's done a 20.875. Did Sneaky get close to that lap time? The answer is yes. He's actually smashed it by 5.5 tenths of a second. Got plenty of guys on them intermediate tyres, dearie me. Eckham's jumped up to provisional pole position now. He's beaten Sneaky by a solid amount, almost 2.5 tenths in hand. He's done a 1 minute 19.981. Donovan making his way through the middle sector. SV completing a lap, but it doesn't count. He's done a 20.4. That would have put him just behind Sneaky. But Sebastian Spicer getting ready for a run on the intermediates, no less. Jinbin getting ready as well. Philly out on track, getting ready for a run, heading down towards turn 1. DRS wide open, building up to a speed of 317 kilometers an hour. Down to 4th gear. Eventually reaches full throttle at the exit of the first turn. Round turn 2. 5th gear. Got up to full throttle very, very early there through the left-hander. You have a lot of grip around a circuit like this. Drop it down to 6th. Round turn 4, then turn 5, and up towards the first sector split. Brake hard for the hairpin here as Danoku jumps up to P3. He's done a 1 minute 20.541. Around the turn 7 sweep at 4th gear. Modulating the throttle quite a bit. Just before corner exit, he was able to reach full throttle. Yellow's out, probably someone who's run out of fuel, I'd assume. Appears to be Eckham in the Mercedes. He's going back into pit lane. Now around turns 12, 13 and 14. Flat through 12, flat through 13. Is it flat through 14? Yes, it is. 2 corners left on the lap, 15 and 16. Down to 6th gear, keeping 2 wheels on the right side of that white line. And out of the final corner. Tidy lap from Philly. But does the tidiness equate to speed? Let's find out. It's a 21.0, 5th fastest for the moment. I believe the slowest out of the soft runners, looking at the lap times on the board. Spicer on intermediates, Jinbin on a set of softs, making his way round turn 9, then into turn 10. Down to 4th gear, clips the apex, eventually reaches full throttle. Now Philly was able to take it flat through these 3 corners. Can Jinbin do the same? Flat through 13, up towards 14, the tightest of these corners. Yes, he can. Round turn 15. An ultimate turn and up towards the final corner. The brakes hard down to 5th gear. Clips the sausage curves on the inside there. Amazingly enough, it didn't really unsettle the car. So you can get away with using those, it seems. Jim Bin crosses the line, 4th fastest with a 20.573. Just 300ths of Daniel Koo in P3, so some tight stuff towards the top of the board. Ekham's a fair way clear, but we've still got a lot of guys yet to set proper lap times on the soft tyre. Just got a lot of guys out on intermediates, just trying to set themselves some bankers, trying to save an extra set of soft compound tyres for the sprint or the main race. Nick making his way through the middle sector up towards the turn 10 hairpin. Down to 4th gear, gets back, full throttle eventually. That looked a bit wide, but the game says he's all good. He hasn't invalidated the lap yet. Around turn 12, turn 13, turn 14, chucking it in. The car grips up, it digs in, through 15. Oh. Using the full width of the circuit and everything, round the final corner. Back onto the main straight, opens DRS and sends it as Crichton has left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin as soon as possible. Nick crosses the line, he goes 5th fastest, 1 minute 20.623. Let's see. Hello Ryan. Anyway, I'm surprised there isn't a bot. Usually the bot's working if you wanted a Discord link. Interesting. Yeah, I could try and fish one out. But now I want to try and concentrate on qualifying. But yeah, usually I would have thought there would be a bot in there somewhere. Try and help people with Discord stuff. But I guess not. Now, Matt Plevy, you have to set a lap time. Same with SV. Seb retires from the session. What's happened to him? Oh, he's disconnected. Okay, so that disconnect glitch is still a thing. Interesting. Matt Plevy making his way around the final corner and back onto the main straight. Yeah, okay, there's no Discord bot. Interesting. I'll try and fix that then. Matt Plevy crosses the line. He goes to P7. Huey beginning a flying lap, making his way out of turn 1. SV making his way through the middle sector. Well, Seb's going to get a fairly rude rejoin, because he's going to realise his car's just retired out of qualifying. So Seb will be starting from plumb last for the sprint here at Qatar. So yeah, those disconnection issues appear to be affecting Seb quite hard at the moment. Hopefully he can find some way to just stick in the lobby. SV will cross the line to do a 20.2. He goes 3rd fastest with that time. Huey making his way through the middle sector. Haas getting well out of the way, making sure he doesn't invalidate the Ferrari on a flying lap. Around turn 14, up towards turn 15. Again, holding it flat, car gripping in. And up towards the final corner. See what kind of time he can set here. Needs a nice run. Keeps it just within the white lines. Up towards the flying finish. Huey will set a 1 minute 20.165. He goes 3rd fastest. Beats SV by a 1/10 of a second. But at the moment there's only one man in the 19s. He's out on track right now. Not looking to improve though. Currently down by a 1/10 and a half. No one's challenging Ekam right now. Danoku up by 3/10 of a second as he makes his way through the final sector. Crichton rejoins the session. Up towards the final turn now for the Haas driver. Very low on battery. So this will be their final run for at least a little while. Should have enough time to get back into pit lane. Put on another set of tyres. They've used all their deployment. There you go. He improves by 4.5 tenths. Jumps up to P3 with a 20.0. Potsy jumps to P4 with a 20.1. So incredibly tight at the top. A mere 8 thousandths of a second separating P2, P3 and P4. Not far behind is Huey in P5. He's run out of fuel. That's why the yellows are out. Be dawdling around the racetrack, trying to make it back into pit lane. Big Al currently P8 with a 20.3. Jinbin out on track. He's currently improving. There's Huey getting well out of the way. Really tidy there from Jinbin, keeping him well within the white lines as he heads into the final corner. Down to 5th gear, down to 4th gear. Climbs up through the gearbox now, opens DRS. Flies towards the finish line. Jinbin will set a 20.455, improves by 10th. Can't quite beat Big Al though. Time's too good at the moment for Jinbin to improve position. Yeah. What else we got? Nick's just invalidated. I think Potsy's going back in. Daniel's going back in. Eckham's going into pit lane. This might be an opportunity to try and find a link if I can. One car out on track right now. Let's see here. Oh, righto, it's a follower only chat, righto. Let's see, that should work. No, it won't allow it. Dang it. Alright, so I won't be able to send a link through. If you can find a way to contact this fella, Matt Plevy, he's on Steam at the moment. But you could also try and contact him through PlayStation if that's your platform. He's the guy in charge of the whole league, so I'd recommend getting in contact with him if you wish to join. Luke Rockford, with 3 minutes left in this qualifying session, will begin what could be his final flying lap. Currently P2 with a 20.092. Making his way around turn 1 and up towards turn 2. He was riding the brake there quite early heading into turn 2. Quite interesting. He had about 5% input heading into turn 5. He was able to absolutely send it around there as he heads up towards the first sector split. Clock says he's up by almost 1/10 of a second, up by 800ths to be exact. With that kind of improvement, he's close to setting a 19, but he needs to find more time throughout the rest of this lap. Out of turn 7, he'll head around the left of turn 8, into the right of 9, then the left-hander of 10. It's a flat-out blast towards the triple right-handers. Clock says then to the middle sector for Luke Rockford. He's lost time. He's only up now by 33 thousandths of a second, so he really does need to send it here through the final sector if he wants to try and challenge for a provisional pole position. Out of turn 15, up towards the final corner. Get on the brakes hard, drop it down to 4th gear. Eventually reaches full throttle, runs wide and invalidates the lap. Well, he sent it. That's exactly what he did. He sent it. Just went a bit too far, unfortunately. So this lap won't count. So the best he can hope for the sprint is a front row start from P2. Will he stay there? Oh, odds are probably not. I reckon a fair few of these guys are set to try and improve. Let's see, who would be one of the first? One of the first is an Aston Martin. Appears to be Sebastian Spicer down in P15. He's yet to do a lap on the soft compound tyre. He's only used intermediates. Looking at the lap times from this session so far. Make his way down towards turn 1. Chucking it into the opening corner, down to 5th gear. Using the full width of the circuit. Heading around the left-hander of turn 2. And around turn 3. Up towards the double right of turns 4 and 5. Drop it down to 6th gear. Eventually reaches full throttle. He's able to keep it flat through turn 5 as well. Clock says to the first sector he's up massively, as you'd expect, by 1.9 seconds. Ekin begins his final flying lap attempt. Daniel Koo just behind. Where's Potsy? He's just behind him. Alright. So we have some of the front runners all nicely lined up ready to run. It's good to see. We've got a car park in the final sector as well. Flick to Crichton here, because he's making his way out to the final corner. A couple of cars behind him just checking up, making sure they give each other just enough space to do a flying lap. Ekin making his way out of turn 6. Didn't quite catch what he was doing in the first sector. Makes his way around turn 7. Through turn 8, around 9. And into turn 10. Rockford's session is done. He's P2. Daniel Coop, his session is done. What about Potsy? He's making his way around the left of turn 10. Up towards the middle sector split. What does the clock say for the AlphaTauri driver? It says he is up by only 48 thousandths of a second. So Ekin might hold on to provisional pole here. We got guys improving, but frankly not by enough. Jinbin's retired from the session. The best he can hope for is P9. Out to the final corner and down the main straightaway. DRS open. Up towards the line. Ekin, will he improve? The answer is yes, by 3/10. A 19.6. That's a new benchmark for everyone else to try and beat. Potsy throws it into the wall out of frustration. Huey's up by 700ths. That's not enough. What about Crichton then? Crichton, our championship leader, yet to put a time on the board, will make his way around the final corner. Keeps it within the white line, so this lap will count. Can he challenge his teammate? Can he take pole position? No way, no. He's done a 21.0, 17th fastest for the championship leader. So not a great one-off lap. He'll be starting towards the back for this Qatar Grand Prix. Well done to Ekin. Sneaky managed to sneak in there. Unironically, a 19.8. The only other driver in the 19s. Al didn't quite make it, did a 20.0. Same with Huey, same with Rockford, same with Daniel Koo. Same with Potsy in P7. Nick P8. Followed by SV in 9th. And Jinbin rounds out the top 10. It's only 0.8 of a second separating the top 10 cars. Not a bad effort. Well, Will, I would imagine you could try and contacting him on Discord. I can find his account in just a moment. But for now, I'll run through the results here after qualifying. Ekin puts it on pole position, 2/10 ahead of Sneaky in P2, followed by Big Al P3. Huey 4th, Rockford completes the top 5, followed by Danoku in P6. Potsy 7, Nick 8th, followed by SV 9th, and Jinbin rounds out the top 10. Bags Liddell P11, followed by Batemate at 12th, Matt Plevy in P13. Philly P14, followed by Reese Cohen, Blake Stevenson. Crichton starting from 17th on the grid, followed by Spicer, who wasn't able to set a time on the soft tyre, and Seb starting from the back because of a disconnect he had earlier. The game decided to retire him out of the session, so he's starting from plumb last. Now let's see here, if I can dig my way through DMs, I should be able to find his account somewhere. There it is there. Does he not have... Yeah, on Discord, Matt Plevy, he's known as Plevs, PL EVS. Don't know what his number is though. I know they got rid of that. But yeah, that's the guy in charge. If you can find him, he'll be able to bring you in quite easily. I don't know why the Discord, there isn't a thing for the Discord. I'm quite surprised for that. Quite surprised. Now, sprint race time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least a couple of drivers try out the soft compound tyre. It's quite an effective race tyre it is. It's very, very fast. It is ridiculously fast around a racetrack like Qatar. But it's got pretty insane tyre. Well, actually, this track has got insane tyre wear, full stop. After the Elite Series race on Sunday, everyone was talking about how ridiculously high the tyre wear was. There were guys saying they did 10 laps on hard tyres, and their tyre wear was up and over 70%. So, yeah, it's quite awful. Yeah, my Discord name, Lane. Oh, hang on. Because I went through this stuff yesterday. I'm pretty certain it's just Lane Everingham. Yeah. We'll run through that a bit later, but don't worry. Rightio, sprint race start. 5 red lights, and we're underway here at Qatar. It's a nice start from Everingham from pole position. Sneaky alongside him. Slops into the slipstream as we head down towards turn 1. Al having a look down the inside of the Alfa Romeo here. Can't find a way through. Big old wiggle from Sneaky, but he keeps it straight as we head... Oh, crash behind! Smashing of boards, cars around. Oh, dearie me, a broken front wing to boot for SV. No safety car, not even a VSC out. 3 wide action here as we head through turn 4, round turn 5, and up towards turn 6. There's someone going very slow. It's Bags Liddell. He's getting well out of the way, so Bags evidently has some sort of issue. Probably a broken front wing or something with that car. Yeah, he's come to a stop and gotten out of the way of everybody. So drama towards the back of the field here on the opening lap of the sprint. Towards the front, though, it looks pretty hunky-dory. We got Ecken leading the way, Sneaky in second, Rockford P3. Rockford already a 3-second time penalty. Straight away. Mate and SV changing places of the 2 Red Bulls going back and forth. Poor qualifying ACW, that's all that was. Just a poor qualifying. Not great. So he's on the recovery. But his teammates doing the job, leading the way. Potsy making a move down the inside. Got a few moves further back. Cohen, I believe, just got past Matt Plevy. Moves into P8. Bags Liddell retires from the session. Interesting. So he'll be starting from the back then for the main race. Interesting call from Bags. Usually not a quitter, so either he might have been right in the centre of that accident, might have retired out of frustration, perhaps. Not terribly sure, but he is out. Our first retirement. We're down to 18. There's a thanks game. Yeah, possible race strategies for a sprint. There you go. Anyone on the softs? Oh, look at that. We've got a right old mix-up. Look at everyone. Got Philly on softs, Matt on hard tyres. Got Stevenson on hard, Spicer on softs, SV's on softs, Nick's on hards. Jinbin on the soft tyre. Proper mix-up of tyre compounds for this sprint. Nick with a 3-second time penalty added to his name. Deary me. Sebastian Spicer right behind Stevenson, trying to find a way through. Closes the gap, using that battery. Roaring alongside the Alpine, heading into turn 1. Can he get through? He should have the grip to get through. Just ahead, Seb trying to get by Matt Plevy. Does so. Moves into P9. Spicer moves up to P12. Race Spec as well. Top 10 score points in the sprint. So this battle between Seb and Matt, it really does matter. Battling for 2 points at the moment for 9th place. Eckham's still leading the way. What a nice job. Keeping Sneaky at bay. Rockford. Time penalty on the opening lap. On the very opening lap. It did not take long at all. Needs to make sure he keeps it within the white lines for the rest of this race. Because as you can see, the field isn't really spreading out. Ooh, that was a bit of lag there for Ecken. out of the final corner and onto the main straightaway. Rep DRS board. Been annihilated by the Mercedes that is leading the way. DRS wide open for Sneaky, closing the gap up to the leader. Not by enough to try and attack, although, well, there we go. Oh my word, where is that Mercedes? Where is it? I have no idea where it is. It is all over the place. It's utilising some kind of distraction tactic. It's working. There's no way anyone's going to try and pass that thing. It's in 7 different postcodes all at the same time. Deary me. Potsy. Probably the most aggressive driver in this leading group. If he has an opportunity to try and make a pass work, he will take it with both hands. Get by with a relative amount of aggression. He's not too aggressive, but he is just, acceptably aggressive. I think that's the best way of describing it. Not a massive pusher or shover. He just dives bombs you at every opportunity given. SV, 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. And here comes Seb. Some DRS help. Cohen will follow through. He's going to take 2 for 1 at turn 1. It's tight. It's real tight. Seb ran the long way. Cohen with the inside line at turn 1. Can't get far enough in front heading into turn 2. This means Seb will hang on to P7. Little wiggle there. He keeps it under control. Billy trying to hold off Matt Plevy now as they go around turn 4. Then turn 5. Seb opens up a little gap. Bit wide there. I think he kept it just within the white lines. You can see with all this scrapping, they're now 2.5 seconds behind the leading group. Crichton gets by Matt Plevy. That's for P10. So Crichton from 17th on the grid has fought his way into the points. He's looking to try and make up a few more spots while he's at it. Here is your leading group. Eckham out in front, Sneaky in P2, Rockford P3. No one in the leading group bar Rockford's got a time penalty, and Rockford's not doing himself any favours. That would have been a warning for sure at turn 15. No way that wasn't a warning. DRS open on Sneaky's car, and Rockford's car. They close in on the race leader. Does Sneaky go for it now? No, he shuts off DRS. Here comes Potsy to the inside, trying to make this move stick. He gets in front of Rockford, moves into P3. See what I mean? He gets it down your inside. He's committed to it. He always commits. Rarely ever does he ever back out. And Eckham, oh dear, a 3-second time penalty running wide at the exit of turn 5. It was difficult to tell because his car was really shuffling left and right because of the lag, but yeah, evidently game pinged him up for running wide at turn 5. He's now got 3 seconds like Rockford. Out of turn 10. Potsy with a bit of battery left, not a lot, just a bit. 32% next to his name, 51 for Sneaky. Eckham about the same, so even though he's out in front with no DRS assistance, he's been able to be conservative on the battery, which is a good thing. Particularly towards the latter stage of the race where you're trying to hang on to track position. You need that extra battery life in order to try and hang on to the track position. I have a distinct feeling he might lose it on this lap. Here we go, down into turn 1. Sneaky shuts off DRS, but here comes Potsy round the outside. Tries to get the over-under done on the Alfa Romeo. Can't find a way through, although he has a look down the inside. Can't get the move done. The Alfa's slightly compromised. The AlphaTauri, a bit of a run. Loses time through turns 4 and 5. Can't set up a move here into the hairpin at turn 6. Not quite close enough. Around turn 8. Heading into the right of turn 9, then the left of turn 10. Using the full width of the racetrack. Shadowing one another. Quite a neato sight to see. Going to be tough for Potsy here to try and set up a move. He's too far behind Sneaky now. Yellow's out. That's Batemate, I think, going slowly at turn 7. So not a great day for the Red Bull team, down in 17th and 18th position. Well and truly stuck at the back of the field. Need to hope their luck turns around in the main race. Big Al closing in. Not by enough to try and pass Rockford though at turn 1. Around turn 2, Spicer gets by Plevy, that's for P11. Yellow's out again, it's SV this time. Just going slowly. He's broken his front wing. Explains a lot. Go back in and get that thing fixed. Yeah, have fun with your HSC, man. I definitely did. Definitely. Sneaky, a big slide there at turn 7. Cost himself time to Eckham. But ultimately, he doesn't need to battle the race leader. Just needs to stay within that 1 second range and keep it penalty free. Should take the win pretty easily. For Eckham, though, that 3 second time penalty is going to hurt him. Going to drop down to P4 in the final results. Sorry, no, P5 in the final results. Miscalculated. So, Eckham needs to hope that a few more of these guys in the leading group get time penalties, some kind of description. 2 laps to go here at Qatar. Rockford going for the move. That's a big old defensive move from Big Al. Trying to hold off Huey. Does so successfully. Sneaky loses control. Balks up Rockford. Potsy now right on the gearbox of that Alpine. Trying to find a way through. Now looking down the inside. Heading into turn 4. Looks like Huey's trying to do the same on Big Al. Seems that Huey might have actually pulled it off. Contact. Oh, gee whiz. Not sure if that was lag or that was genuine contact between Rockford and Potsy. Somehow both cars are still facing in the right direction. Huey, what a move. Did that at turns 4 and 5. Don't see that all too often. Ferrari looks quick, that's for sure. Passing a car like that, let alone Big Al. Car has to be good. Through the flat out right-handers here. Well, not quite flat anymore with the race load and the tyre wear. Yeah, they're not quite going flat through 14 anymore. Sneaky heading back onto the main straightaway. He's got a big enough gap to the car behind that he doesn't need to be overly worried about him. Just needs to stay with the race leader. Victory should be theirs. Side by side, heading into turn 1. Potsy down the inside. Rockford hangs it round the long way. Now into turn 2. Potsy trying to send it round the outside. He now has the inside line at turn 3 and gets in front. Fine overtake. Rockford tries to have a look. Ultimately redundant, of course, thanks to the time penalty. Pushing hard nonetheless. Just behind these fellas, got Reese Cohen Seb from 19th on the grid. Going to finish inside of the points. What an effort, and thank goodness he sorted out his connection problem. And we've got one more sector to get through. And he finishes what's a pretty good effort, all things considering. I'll tell you what, with the battling between Potsy and Rockford, it might just give Eckham an extra position or two. He might finish 4th. We'll have to wait and see how the times pan out when they cross the line. But Eckham will cross the line in first. He will not stay there, though. It'll be Sneaky who wins the sprint race here at Qatar. Potsy finishes P2, Huey P4, and there you go. Ecker P4 by 0.3 of a second over Big Al in P5. Reese Cohen P6, followed by Rockford, Crichton. Seb finishes 9th. Sebastian Spicer, our final point scorer in P10. Matt Plevy, Philly, Stevenson, Danoku, Nick Jinbin and Batemate will be our final finisher. So a fairly straightforward sprint. Outside of the first lap, wasn't a huge amount of drama. But all in all, not a bad race. Not bad at all. So, the unofficial results of the sprint then. Here at Qatar, Sneaky who wins with Potsy home in 2nd. Huey will finish on the podium in 3rd, followed by Eckham in 4th. He crossed the line in 1st, but with that 3-second time penalty, he will finish off the podium. Big Al completes the top 5, followed by Reese Cohen from 15th to 6th. A fine effort indeed. Rockford P7, Crichton from 17th to 8th. Seb from 19th to 9th. Spicer from 18th to 10th, so some big drives from those who started towards the back. Matt Plevy P11, followed by Philly in 12th, Stevenson 13th, followed by Danoku, Nick, Jinbin, Batemate, SV, and Bags Liddell, our only 2 retirements of the race. Okie dokie, race time. 29 laps here at Qatar. It's a long race. Chance of a safety car fairly low. There's a lot of runoff area around here at Losail. So if a car manages to find the barrier, they've done a really good job. Best chance of that happening though is probably the exit of turn 1. Saw it a couple of times in Pacific Elite, where a driver can lose control out of turn 1 and smash into the right-hand side barrier when exiting the corner. That's about it, though, when it comes to sort of barriers you can smash into. Outside of that, there is so much runoff area that, yeah, you're not going to hit it. You're not going to hit a thing. So, and if you do, then you've done a really good job of hitting that wall. But what we are going to get is probably some very interesting games in terms of strategy. Tyre wear is going to be incredibly high. Fuel consumption is also very high. That's something that caught out Ryan Bell in Pacific Elite. You need to make sure you've got a lot of spare fuel in the fuel tank. And I mean 2.5 laps, 3 laps extra, because if you don't have enough, you will run out with many laps to go. That's how ridiculous the fuel consumption is. You won't just run out of fuel in the final sector. You'll run out of fuel with like 2-3 laps to go. Because fuel consumption is that ridiculous here. For some reason. For the second time we have 5 red lights and the main race is underway. It's a good start from Potsy in P2. Can he challenge Sneaky? Yes he can. He gets well in front of Sneaky as we head into turn 1. Off the racetrack goes Big Al. Huey pushes him off as we head towards turn 2. Round the left-hander we go. The field much tidier on this occasion compared to the sprint. Around turn 3 and up towards turn 4. Ow. What was that? Down the main straightaway between him and Huey. That was very touch and go stuff. Down the main straight. 2 wide action behind. See, I believe that's Matt Plevy trying to go around the outside of Seb at turn number 9. These two still going at it, trying to find their little spot. Oh, yellow's out. It's SV around at turn 7. I think they've sorted themselves out. Seb found his spot in P10, Matt just in front of him. And Spicer gets in front of Batemate around the triple right-handers. Just a slight downshift, making sure that the car gets tipped in, allows it to rotate. towards the final corner. A little bit of battery there as well from Batemate. Let's see who's starting on what tyre then. A lot of drivers on the hard compound tyre. A couple on the mediums, being Cohen and Al. 3 cars on the softs. Matt Plevy, Spicer and Batemate. A few changes in position here as Crichton tries to go around the outside. Can't get that done. Seb having a look down the inside. Can't get that done either. Meanwhile, out in front, Sneaky and Potsy changing places as they head around turn 3 and up towards turn 4. Sneaky having a look down the inside. Can he pull this off? Not quite. Potsy able to swing it around the outside and maintain the race lead as they head towards turn 6. Crichton and Matt battling for position. Appears that Matt's winning the battle. But I feel like he's going to be on the back foot when it comes to the wall, because he's on the soft tyre. They've got a shelf life of about 4 laps or so, but they're ridiculously quick as Batemate gets a 3-second time penalty. You know, Spicer having a crack at Batemate. More than a crack, it's an actual overtake. Spicer into P11, Batemate down to 12. Round the penultimate corner, turn 15, and then the final corner, turn 16. See Cohen behind Huey. I wonder if Huey's going to play teammate here and let Cohen through because he's on the medium compound tyre, and look at that, he will. Levy moving through on Big Al. Crichton defending from Seb as we head into turn 1. Seb unable to find a way through as it's now lap 3 and DRS is now enabled. There's the leaders all in a train. Rockford having a look. Huey defending. Oh, and here comes Matt Plevy, and around is Huey. Around is Huey. He recovers, but he's down in 14th place. I'm guessing he and Rockford's probably touched at turn 4. It unsettled the Ferrari and it tumbled him down to 14th place. They're battling up towards the front of the field. He's now buried in the mid-pack. Everyone around him's on the same tyre too. It's going to be a really tough time trying to make his way through the field. Al having a look around the outside here at turn 12 of all places. You can't get that done, surely he can't. Reese Cohen hangs on to P6. That was a audacious little look around the outside as Cohen actually pits, so evidently the Ferrari's found trouble, so he's in. Probably pit for repairs. Here are your leaders. Sneaky gets in front. Eckham trying to find a way through down the inside. No, actually. No, he's not. Potsy trying to find a way through down the inside. Potsy shoved his nose in down the inside of turn 1. They're battling through turn 3. Seb with a 3-second time penalty. Wheel-to-wheel stuff as we head into turn 4. And with the inside line, Potsy's capable of taking P2. I thought it would be Eckham would try and send it in on Sneaky down at turn 1. But no, it was Potsy sending it on the Mercedes instead. There's Rockford in P4, Matt Plevy P5 on those soft tyres. But I imagine after 3 laps they're already pretty average. That's how shocking the tyre wear is. Sneaky, Potsy, Eckham, Rockford, Plevy. Just behind them is Crichton, Al, Seb, Spice and Batemate. That's the top 10. Half of them, almost half of them on the hard tyre. 3 of them on softs, 1 of them on the mediums. Keeping just within the white lines there, just about. We barrel down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Popsy closes the gap, but he won't close it by enough to attack. Crichton sets a new fastest lap with a 24.6. He's making his charge towards the front, trying to close in on the top 5. Try and get involved in this scrap. Around turn 3, up towards turn 4. Can't do much through these sections other than... Oh, not doing that! Rockford running wide, costing himself 2 places. and he doesn't bother to try and recover one. It's a wise decision. Better off just giving in, letting the overtake happen, and try and battle side by side, costing yourself even more time. You already made a mistake, get yourself sorted, and get back in line, and that's exactly what Rockford did there. Smart driving. Said trying to find a way through. Rockford feeling generous. Perhaps there's more to this story then. Maybe he's got front wing damage. He might be peeling into the pit shortly to get that fixed. Let's have a look. Coming up towards the pit entry now as Philly gets a 3-second time penalty. And there we go, he is peeling in. So damage for the Alpine driver. He's not really pushing it into the pits either. Well, I suppose at this point you know your race is pretty much over. Unless there's a safety car, so there's no point doing something silly. Let's get it in. Get it. Oh! Philly. Gee whiz. Rejoins very nicely. But yeah, that was an almighty moment. Invented a new corner, he went that far off track. Back up to your leading drivers. Sneaky out in front, Potsy behind. 0.4 of a second separating the two cars. Around turn 12, turn 13, turn 14, the gap increases to half a second. Almost 0.6 as they head towards the penultimate corner. So Sneaky's got really good car speed right now. Potsy doing the best he can, but yeah, he won't be close enough to try and... maybe he might be now. I don't think he's close enough to try and pass. He is using his battery though. He used a fair chunk of his battery down the main straight as Philly retires in the pit lane. Potsy has a look down the inside of turn 1. Sneaky hangs it around the long way. Gives himself the inside line at turn 2. Potsy doesn't care though. He's going to fight around the long way. Gives himself the inside line at turn 3. There or thereabouts. Sneaky is able to maintain the lead. It wasn't by much though. There was but a few millimetres between those two cars through turn 3. Somehow they were able to make it work. Sneaky hangs on to the lead. Look at them. All in a train. Near enough completely unseparated. Rockford back in for a set of soft compound tyres. Around turn 11 and up towards turn 12. 3.5 tenths. 4 tenths. Potsy's closer this time around. If he does the exact same thing as he did on the previous lap, should be able to get by pretty easily into turn 1. Just needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake through the final corner, which he does not do. Lost a little bit of ground. Sneaky with a pretty good exit. Sneaky with all the battery in the world. 75%, 41%. Oh, Matt having a look down the inside here at turn 1. Ekin will have the inside line at turn 2. Matt won't have the grip to fight around the long way. Terry stays in 4th behind. We got Big Al and Crichton. Crichton not quite close enough to try and send it at turn 4. Hovering behind Big Al at the moment. Go into the hairpin at turn 6. There's Matt Flevey. There's Crichton. You know what I mean? Near enough unseparated. From the nose to the tail of the field. Bar, of course, Reese and Luke, who have encountered trouble on the way. Yeah. You can imagine what that's like in real life. Because your whole left-hand side of the body is getting squished up against the car. It wouldn't be a particularly nice feeling as Batemate goes in to get off those soft compound tyres. Here we go. Matt Plevy losing a place to Big Al. The McLaren driver moves up into fourth, those soft tyres. Steadily falling to bits. Matt needs to make a decision soon. When does he get off those soft compound tyres? Danoku, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. We're going to see a lot more of those over the course of the night. And the laps drag on. We need a lot of focus around this racetrack. If you start to lose it towards the end of the race, you can find yourself gathering penalties left, right and centre. Rockford sets a new fastest lap. That's unsurprising though. He's on the soft tyre and he's flying. Just doing the best he can in a pretty bad situation. But the only thing that can save him is a safety car at this point. Same story with basically everyone who isn't part of this massive train here. Got a few cars coming in. Those few being Plevy and Spicer. They're going to get off their softs. I had to put on a set of hards to go to the end. We'll find out. Again, Popsy getting close, but he's not going for the move. Sneaky still with a decent amount of battery. Heading up towards turn number 4 and turn 5. Braking hard. Getting it turned in. Able to just pull away. He pulled away by about 2/10 there through turn 6. Getting really good drive out of that Alfa Romeo. Able to get that thing planted, get on the accelerator early. Now Potsy, he's not, I'm assuming not driving in his usual rig while he's on a PlayStation, so he's probably in a bit of an alien-like situation where everything's a bit new to him, but he's still fighting towards the front. Shows you how much talent he has, how quick he is. As Spicer gets a 3-second time penalty. Yellow's out. That's Reese Cohen around at turn 10. Loses time. As SV closes in, he might get a buddy to race around with. Up towards turns 4 and 5. Man. Well, you would think with racing this close it'd be a lot more entertaining, but you kind of know what's going to happen between this lot. And the only amount of battling we've seen pretty much between the top two. And it's primarily because everyone else back here stuck in this DRS train. It's very, very difficult to make your way through a DRS train. You need a significant tyre advantage in order to make your way through. If everyone's on the same compound, or at least has tyres that are operating fairly similar, then it's all stagnant. Fortunately for them, as Potsy pits. I was going to mention, you don't really need to battle very hard at this stage, because we've still got 19 laps to go. Age to get through until we see the checkered flag. Aston Martin coming in as well. That's Bags Liddell. Soft tyres put on Popsy's car. Tells me he's going to try and do a two-stopper. So he's going to try and push like hell from here to the end of the race. Here comes... who's that? That's Spicer and Matt Plevy. Heading into turn 1. Oh, the AlphaTauris are side by side. That will give through. Potsy will hang on to P11. So yeah, Potsy, once he passes Spicer, and he will, with the tyre advantage and the pace he's demonstrated tonight, he will find a way through. He's got a very clear track in front of him to just push like hell. And I reckon he's going to do exactly that. But he needs to clear Spicer, preferably ASAP. Here we have a 3-second time penalty as Sneaky pits in. Everingham follows. So Crichton stays out, that makes sense. Al stays out on those mediums. You would have suspected he would have been the first of these guys to pit as he's on the medium compound side, but no, he's staying out. Sneaky, medium, same with Everingham, same with Seb. G-Force Nick moving on to a set of mediums as well. So Potsy now leading this queue of cars, has got a clear track in front. Allow him to push as hard as he pleases on those soft tyres. He's Sneaky in 9th place. He's got Spicer and Plevy directly ahead. And I imagine with the freshness of his tyres, he's going to catch up to these two fairly quickly. And like Potsy, he needs to find a way by ASAP. Can't hang around. Can't afford to waste too much time. There's Potsy, there's Spicer, Plevy, then Sneaky. Baymate on 4-lap old hard tyres. He's going to have a few medium runners there, going to seem awfully fast right now. Everingham will find a way through quite easily. There's Stevenson just behind. Crichton stays out for another lap. Big Al is in. Sneaky on the back of Plevy. Matt should get DRS assistance here. DRS open. Moves through. Next target will be Spicer. SV, 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Spicer's been able to hang on to Potsy. Hasn't let the AlphaTauri just drive off into the distance. Sneaky's closing in. More quickly here. Those fresh medium tyres just doing the business right now. Baymate under pressure. Stevenson looking around the outside. Now has the inside line through turn 8. He cops a penalty, but he gains a place. Seb moves through too. Danielku yellows out for him. Something happened to the harsh driver. Brought out those yellows ever so briefly. So Stevenson up to 10th. Seb P11th. Baymate 12th. Crichton Huey. Comes out quite easily. What tyres are you lot going for? Medium compound, medium compound. Why they leave? I'd be curious to see how they play themselves in during the latter stages of the race, because they're going to have quite a lot more speed on these tyres compared to everyone else out on track. Nick will come out behind Crichton, so Crichton in P12, Huey P14. Ferrari driver has a clear track in front of him, so he can push as hard as he needs to. Thanks Liddell giving Big Al a bit of a hurry up. Meanwhile, out in front, Jinbin leading, but he has to make a stop. And we have Potsy and Sneaky, Spicer and P4. But he's on the oldest medium tyres out of anybody except for SV, down in 15th position. Sneaky trying to set himself up here. He'll get by easily down the main straightaway with the help of DRS. Oh, it's an interesting line there from Potsy. Wait, what's happened here? Jinbin going slowly. He punctured. There we go, lap 15 of 29. He's punctured the front left. Coming in for repairs. Deary me. Oh, what's happened to Potsy? Potsy going slowly. Going very slowly. Did he make a mistake? Did someone make a mistake into him? I don't know. He's off the racetrack. Front wing looks intact. Well, there we go. Race over then for Potsy. No idea what's going on. Damn near coming to a stop. Taking the Alonso line. I want to know what's going on here. Why is he driving so slow? He is crawling his way round. Here's your race leader. Here's Spicer in second. He's got Everingham directly behind. Flashing red lights at the back of both cars. They're running low on battery. Sneaky with a ton of battery though, with 50%. Still going slow. What's going on? So you got some kind of steering issue or rig issue or something going on? Is he being distracted or what? What? Just dawdling his way round as Big Al gets by Stevenson. That is for 6th position. Batemate directly behind. Can't quite capitalise on the battling. Crichton closing in. Same with Bags Liddell, who is just behind. Is he pitting? He's going to pit. Not enough fuel. More than enough fuel. The tyres? Well, there you go. Honestly, no clue what that was all about. But, yeah, there you go. He retires out of the Qatar Grand Prix. He will score nothing. Zero. Nada. Not a single point. Down the main straightaway. Sneaky with the 1.1 second lead. Everingham, with no battery left, is unable to close the gap to the race leader. Spicer holding third. Seb. A remarkable effort it's been as Crichton moves through on Stevenson. Has a look down the inside of Big Al. He will get in front of the McLaren and move into P6. A tidy overtake, and there's Potsy's AlphaTauri sitting at the edge of the racetrack. But what an effort from Seb. DC during qualifying, the game retired his car, started from plumb last in the sprint, recovered to finish inside the top 10, and is now currently holding 4th place in the main race. It's been a mega effort, and around a racetrack like Qatar. Not really pass here. Made huge gains though over the course of both races, and he's fighting for potentially a podium finish. We've still got a long way to go. Right now he's in the game. That's all that matters. Sneaky still holding that 1.1 second margin. Actually opened up just ever so slightly. It's now 1.2. Oh my word. So Potsy just put into the Discord what was going on. The reason why he was driving so slowly is because, for whatever reason, whether it's TV related or console related or game related or whatever, the game just flashed him a white screen every so often. Like, just straight white. No racetrack, no cars, no nothing. So that's why he was crawling around the track. Something's really messed up, technically, on his end. So he's done the right thing and just parked the car in the pits, rather than trying to drive it out, where you're periodically blind. Yeah, okay, that's pretty munted, to be fair. And quite a shame. I really wanted to see what Potsy was capable of doing with the strategy he was on. But unfortunately, racing's like that. Bad luck gets in the way of good races every so often. It happens. The RS Open on Crichton's car. It's a setup. It's a pass for 5th place for Zach Crichton. Passes Matt Plevy. Moves down to P6 on those aging hard compound tyres. He probably has to make another stop, considering what happened to Jinbin earlier in the race. With the tyre wear being that bad, I don't think they can do another 9 laps. So he'll probably have to make another stop. Or just pray to the Codemaster gods that his tyres remain inflated. Either or. Huey closing in on Stevenson, so we might have a few battles here and there. But, yeah, for the most part, we're in a bit of a lull period. Not much happening on the racetrack. Everyone's just a bit too far spread out for there to be any sort of action. Nikki holding firm at the front of the field. Eckham behind him, P2. 1.4 seconds behind Seb in P3, pulling away from Spicer, who is peeling in for his final stop of the race. Set of mediums or a set of softs? That is the question. What is Spicer pitting for? The answer is a set of softs. Fair play. Proved earlier that the soft tyre could do about 8 laps, so it shouldn't be terribly impossible for them to do one more. Neat little mid-pack battle. We got Plevy, Al, Huey, Stevenson all in the trade. Liddell not terribly far behind, but I don't think he'll be catching up anytime soon. Not because he's not quick enough, but because of how this track works. Everyone is incredibly competitive. Times are very, very close. So he's going to have a really tough time trying to catch up. And besides that, he doesn't have DRS down the main straight. So he can work really hard through the corners to try and gain time. But then he'll lose like 3/10 down the straightaway. As Sneaky, the race leader, pits in. Seb follows suit. Eckham stays out. I wonder, is he going to try and pull off the strategy that Jack Humphreys did but a few days ago? The Pacific Elite try and do a one-stopper. Maybe Crichton is going to try and do the same thing. Yeah, I reckon that's exactly what it is, ACW. I reckon a couple of drivers just risking it. Going for that one stop, trying to make it work. Sneaky comes out. That is P7 for him. Seb, P8. He gets in front of Spicer. That's important because these two are battling on track. Oh, not quite when it comes to penalties. Seb's got 3 seconds more. Oh, if he does that again, ACW, you know, call it the luck of Zach Crichton. I remember when he did that ages ago at Qatar. He was running with 100% tyre wear and somehow the tyre didn't implode. It really just shows you, though, that when it comes to punctures in F1 games, it's complete RNG. Once you hit 70-75%, it's RNG. There's no set way that determines how a tyre punctures, other than the fact it needs to be over 70-odd%. Ekem pits. So, I was wrong about Ekem. He's not trying a one-stop. He's doing a two-stop. But I wonder, with this lot, are they going to try and do a one-stopper? Yeah, unlucky, Potsu. I saw what you put into the Discord too. That's actually munted. Where it just flashes white every so often. That is actually ridiculous. But very unlucky, mate. Look fast out there, per usual. Typically look quite quick. Oh, yeah, that's actually messed up. Just flashing, just all white every so often. Baymate, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, that's what I said. Just periodic blindness. Not fun. Spicer trying to get by Danielku, does so successfully. Ekem going around the outside of the Haas as well. Or tries to get the Aston Martin. Gets 2 for 1. Not a bad effort that was. Not bad at all. Trouble is though, oh well, never mind. Spicer made a mistake. Yeah, of course. You know, you do the right thing by retiring out of the session, and then the problem fixes itself. That's how it works. So GeForce Nick will come out in P14, so he's got fresh tyres, he'll be able to push, but the only guy he'll be able to battle is Jinbin, and he's got a lot of catching up to do to try and battle Jinbin. To his favour though, Jinbin is on 8-lap old mediums, and a time penalty next to his name too. So Nick might be able to gain a spot. These guys we have to keep an eye out for. Sneaky on those soft tyres, 7.5 seconds behind Big Al. Well, Crichton out on medium tyres, 9 laps old. He's trying to go to the end on those tyres. Going to try and make him survive. This is exactly what Humphreys did in Pacific Elite, and it worked. Crichton needs to do the same right here, right now. Huey's following, same with Al, so that's another thing. Sneaky has to try and pass 2 cars in order to try and have a crack at Crichton for the race lead. So Crichton has that in his back pocket as well. Huey 1.8 seconds behind. I think that gap has stayed pretty neutral. So Huey and Crichton, and I reckon Big Al as well, travelling at relatively the same speed. No one's pulling away by massive margins compared to the other car. Speed's now about 2 seconds, 1.9 again, 1.8 again. So it's fluctuating, but it's staying pretty neutral. Somewhere between 2 to 1.8 seconds, somewhere in there. Sneaky, meanwhile, on those soft tyres, is obviously travelling quite quickly. He has closed the gap to under 6 seconds now to Big Al. Alright, with the rate he's going at... should be able to catch up by about lap 28 or so, with 2 to go, to Big Al. But of course, another factor is punctures. That these guys could get a puncture at some point, and that's game over. So they're running with a pretty big risk hovering over their heads. Yes, they've got track position. They've got a bit of time in hand too. But if the game says so, they'll get a puncture, and that's it. It's all done. 4 laps to go. Gap down to 4.8 seconds. Ekin moves through on Seb. Fairly straightforward pass, and Seb not putting up too much of a resistance to that. Not that he really can with the penalties that he's got, so he's probably just better off following Ekin around. Try and not lose too much time, and maybe try and pull away a bit more from Spicer. And from Matt Plevy as well, because Seb's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, not 3. Spicer now has 6 too. So he doesn't have to worry about Seb. His main priority then is Matt Plevy. He's cut it down a little bit, 1.7 now. Reese a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. The gap has shrunk to 3.6. What was the gap at the beginning of the lap? It was 4.8, wasn't it? It's now 3.4. See what it is when they cross the line. Of course, Big Al will naturally pull away on the straightaways because of DRS. So that will stretch out the gap between Al and Sneaky, just that little bit. He's catching it at about a second a lap, there or thereabouts. Second and a half a lap. 2.8. So actually caught up by near 2 seconds on that lap. Sneaky is flying. And he's got battery in hand as well, over 50%. 8% for Ekin, 10% for Seb, 5 for Spicer, Plevy on 8. And we have a change in position. Stevenson moves through. Man, everyone's low on battery. Jinbin isn't, but he's been by himself, so understandably he hasn't been using his battery. Nick moves through into 13th. 25, 28, 24. Crichton 14. 35 for Huey. 33 for Al. Sneaky on 60%. And he's been closing in without using that battery. Seems too much. So, far out. Sneaky turning it up. And with battery to use for the final couple of laps, he's going to be mightily quick. Mightily quick. Or Crichton running deathly wide there at turn number 15. Inadvertently he gave himself time. The gap increased to 2 seconds. But he would have copped a warning for that, surely. 2 laps to go here at Qatar. The gap now 1.2 seconds. Seb closing in, but yeah, shuts off DRS. He doesn't want to fight. He knows he can't really fight. Oh, Crichton! Puncture? Yes, it is. A puncture for GeForce Crichton. He rolled the dice, and it could have worked. It really could have. But the game said no. Front right puncture. His race is over. Now it's down to these 3, and Huey's got a penalty to try and work with. So once Sneaky gets by Al, he'll be in the hot seat to try and win this race. He dives it down the inside at turn 10. Al leaves him room, runs wide as a matter of fact. Sneaky moves into P2. Around the triple right-handers. And around the penultimate corner. Sneaky will be able to set up a pass here. Fairly straightforward one. All the battery in the world to deploy as well. DRS open. He shoots on through to take the race lead. It's now the final lap. Lap 29 of 29 here at Qatar. Final 5 kilometers of this Grand Prix. And Sneaky, all he needs to do is keep it within the white lines. Not make a mistake. Ekin closing in. Can he finish on the podium? Can he finish P2? He needs to pass out in order to finish P2. And now on those old hard tyres, definitely seen better days. Crichton, he will actually end up scoring points. He'll come out in 15th position, so he will score something. Yeah, he took a gamble. Credit to him. Took a gamble. Didn't quite pay off for Huey, though. He's hanging on. Hanging on to whatever he can. Everingham trying to find a way around the outside. Can't find it. Yellows, I think that's Rockford going slowly. Everingham all over the back of Val. Still unable to find a way through. Round the penultimate corner. Up towards the final turn. Will we see a send from Everingham, or will he do it with DRS? He'll have a look. Try and set up a run. Out in front, it will be Sneaky, who will win the Qatar Grand Prix. Huey will not finish in second. It will be Big Al, who finishes P2. What an effort then from the McLaren driver to finish on the podium. Everingham completes the podium places in third. Huey will finish in fourth. He'll be happy with that after what happened earlier in the race between himself and Rockford. Seb, top 5 finish after the drama in qualifying. Not a bad effort, honestly. Matt Plevy, home in P6. Might just be his best result of the season in Tier 1, perhaps. I'll have to double check. Spicer, Stevenson, Liddell, Nick. That's our top 10. Baymate, Daniel Koo, Jinbin, SV, GeForce Crichton. Finish in 15th place. He will score 1 point. And we'll have to wait for Reese and Luke. But man, if Crichton's tyres hung on, I wonder, could he have hung on to that race lead? Sneaky looked awfully quick out there on those tyres. I would be very, very curious. Bags Liddell, driver of the day. We'll see his performance in the final results screen. But for now, time for the podium celebrations. It's Sneaky who wins the Qatar Grand Prix. Had an awful lot of speed. He was in a class of his own. P2 to Big Al. P3 to Everingham. A fine performance from him. But Big Al pulling off that one stop worked out for him. That's for sure. The unofficial results then of the Qatar Grand Prix. Race winner today is Sneaky by 2.8 seconds to Big Al in P2, making that one stop of work. Everingham completes the podium places. In third, Huey 4, followed by Seb. He completes the top 5. Matt Plevy will finish P6. That's his equal best result of the season so far. Spicer P7, followed by Stevenson. Bags Liddell finishes in the 10th with GeForce Nick. And that's why he was given driver of the day. Had issues in the sprint, tired, finishes inside the top 10. Not a bad effort. Then we have Batemate, Daniel Kood, Jinbin, SV, Crichton, Rockford, Reese, Potsy and Philly. Only 2 retirements from the race. There we are. A long race. I think it's probably the best way of describing it. It was very long tonight. We had a lot of cars that were quite close together, but a lot of them weren't really doing anything. So, but it's not necessarily their fault, it's just sort of how the track works. For 90% of the racetrack, it is follow the leader stuff. It's very difficult to pass. The only real place you can do it is down the main straightaway. And even then, if you're in a DRS train, you're not moving anywhere. Because that's how DRS trains work. You see a bit of battling at the front, and anyone in the middle who's moving up is because they're on better tyres, they're on mediums, they're on softs, and they're flying their way up through the field because of the grip that they have. If everyone's on the same tyre, then it's all just line astern, nobody moves. It's just kind of how this stuff works. So, yeah. Yeah, that's just this racetrack. It wasn't terrible, this race, by any means, we still had a fair bit of action. We had drama as well. Punctures, yeah, that was a big thing. No one ran out of fuel, which is good. Everyone had their fuel numbers A-OK. It was a safety carless race, so no one had the opportunity to save fuel. But everyone made it seemed like. So, but yeah, the tyre wear around this circuit is actually ridiculous, and I don't. But I kind of understand why, but I don't understand why it's so ridiculously high. Around racetracks like Jeddah, it's nowhere near as bad, but here at Qatar, it's awful for some reason. Anyway, another race in the books then, closing in on the halfway mark in this season. Man, it's been long. It's been a long season. Still got plenty of it left. Yeah, I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. We'll see you for round 9 of the championship at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. That should actually be, hopefully, fairly entertaining to watch. Until then, it's goodbye.